topic today is bridging the generational gap. Have you ever felt disregarded, discredited, maybe looked down to, not very important to do to your age group? When I was a child, children were to be seen and not heard. And so when my mom would fix the dinner or have company over, we ate last. And then when I became an adult and recently more in the church, I noticed that there were people who discriminated children. They didn't want them in their service, or they didn't want to invite the community children to a dinner that we was having. And this disturbed me, it troubled me. And I realized that there is a need for generation awareness, and I feel that there's solutions to remedy this problem that we have. It's easy to forget our interdependence. You know, we're not one block to build a whole wall. It takes all of us working together to make society, bridging together each generation to make it really what it can be. And if you don't believe this, here's a comment that Greg Hamill from FDU Magazine said. He said, when asked to recall how and where Kennedy died, the veterans and the baby boomers would say gunshots in Dallas, Texas. Generation X remembers a plane crash near Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts. Generation Y might say, Kennedy who? I have interviewed several people here. I've interviewed a couple people here from Sinclair, someone over here in the learning department, and then another person from the e-learning who wished to remain anonymous. Linda Shock was one from the Teaching and Center. And then also several online resources, along with, I bring some personal experience to this also. So in preview, bridging the generational gap is a problem in society that affects our church, our schools, and our workforce. So if we can understand these specific differences that there are in this generation gap, we'll have a better understanding of trying to solve this problem. Seth Wallace, who works for MTU, Mission to the World, here's something that he says, and I provided it for you in a handout. If you'll take one of these, this gives a breakdown of each of the generations that we have. The boomer generation is 45 to 63 years old. They value success, competition, hard work, teamwork, and body language. The Xers are within the age group of 27 to 44. And they value loyalty, information, independence, and creativity, and quality of work life. And then we have the Generation Y, and they're the ages 12 through 26. And they value positive reinforcement, autonomy, positive attitudes, diversity, money, and technology. So we're going to be looking at the problems in each one of these areas, the church, the workforce, and the schools and colleges. From my personal experience, the problems in the church, we have a problem sometimes with leaders. They want to become maybe territorial. And so ministries is this one over here, this one over here, this one over here, and we're not all together. And then, so while serving in the church, then I've seen the discrimination between children. Then we have the problem in the workforce. There's managers, possibly maybe more older managers, that do not understand the need that the Generation Y has in feeling comfortable. Generation Y may have that need for really technology, that need for a lot of flexibility on the job. So managers need to understand this generation. They need to understand that they have work, they have college, they have school, they have social, and everything all needs to be considered. They can work from home. That's another consideration also. Then we have the problem in the college is that, although from my interview from here through Sinclair, is that although they do provide generation gap training, this is not a requirement for staff. So if you're a staff, you're not required to take this. And then the staff also are the ones that can submit training that they want, classes that they want to take for workshops, so it may not include generation that year or another year. And so then in the Middletown City Department, when I interviewed someone there from the learning, they offered no generation gap training whatsoever for their staff. They do offer only like a a cultural-based training, and so they do have coaches that they have assigned for the schools, and so they can go into these schools and they can watch needs that each school has, and that will vary from you know, what the enrollment is from each school, so that culturally would vary. So as you've heard, we do have a problem, and I've given each of you these problems, but I believe that we can fix this, help eliminate this problem in a step-by-step series that I would like to offer you today. How can we do this in the church? Include children in the worship service. We can give, I'm working on this now, trying to implement this, is we can give internships for the young people in the church to where they're assigned jobs working side by side with an adult mentor in the church. So they're walking with them through this journey of developing their own career and ministry. Then we can write activities and functions that include everyone together. Then in the workforce, we can provide training for our managers so they can understand how to provide feedback for especially Generation Y. They need that validation to feel a part of that work. Then we can keep technology up to date on the workforce. Allow consideration working from home, permitting these flexible hours that they need. Providing training to leaders and department leaders within the workforce. Then what about the schools and the colleges? We can provide generation gap training at least twice a year. So the new teachers that come in for a second semester, they also receive this training. Then we can make it a requirement that staff take this training. We can provide in the schools grandparents' breakfasts, lunches, for grandparents to come into the school, and then let the kids interview the grandparents, taking them way back on that journey from them. In the elementary, middle, and high, we can provide training for generational gap before teachers and parents both. So we've seen it as a problem. I've given you step-by-step solutions into fixing this problem, and there are some benefits I would like to share with you. Benefits on the church, workforce, and college. Generation gap from age groups, in working this step by step, they will have a greater appreciation for each other. Employees will be more happy, and managers will be less stressed due to understanding their employees and understanding the needs that they have. And this is a different generation, and they can be more accepting of that. Then we have in the schools and the colleges, professors and students working together, feeling understood by trying to go to college and balance a work life, a social life, a home life, a family life. They can feel like they're understood for their generation. Older teachers and young people will be on the same page, having a greater appreciation for each other. Grandparents will be delighted to be a part of this. Now you've heard the benefits, and for each one of these, I would encourage you to take action. Hopefully you can see how generational gap is a problem in society that you can begin to reduce, making choices to get involved in the lives of others. And your life will be changed forever, and you will make a difference for somebody else. Remember, you don't want to be the one neglected, misunderstood, or overlooked according to your generation. Thank you.